Hold on. Give me 1 second. Is this thing on? Can you guys hear me? All right, the stream is actually set to is supposed to actually start in about 5 minutes. But we're here now. But we are here now. All right, guys. So Vybz Kartel is free. Vybz Kartel is a free man. You know, like I want to say it's bittersweet. You know, I don't think the universe makes any mistakes, right? First of all, I'm going to say condolences to the families, you know, of anyone that was slain, right? Whether or not he did it or he didn't do it, that's not for me to decide. And that's not even why I'm here. I'm not here to condemn him. I'm not here to say he's guilty. I'm not here to say he should be anywhere that the universe does not have him. Right? But, you know, being that you kind of went through a process, right? Whether it be a pleasant process or not, right? You still went through a process, some sort of a process. There was a point in time when, you know, Vybz Kartel was at the absolute pinnacle of not just dancehall culture, right? But music culture. So many people around the world knew who this gentleman was, right? Because he made such great music. Fantastic music. Phenomenal music. Right? I was a Cartel fan, right? Being that, obviously, my Jamaican roots. You know, obviously, going to parties at the time when I was going to parties. Right? What up, Mobhead? Yes, Mobhead, that's me. You're right. Proud of it, too. But yeah, Vybz Kartel was at the absolute pinnacle. Hello, everyone that's joining. Thank you guys for joining. At the absolute pinnacle of the music industry. A lot of people are influenced by Vybz Kartel. Sure, he was influenced by a lot of people as well. But just the versatility and the frequency of how often he would put out music. And how great he was at putting great quality music out. I look like I could have been a boxer. Well, thank you. But, you know, he's such a talent for the art. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone for joining. But he has such a talent for the art. A phenomenal musician, right? And as a teenager, growing up, you don't care if what you're listening to has any sort of destructive value, so to speak, right? Because it makes you feel good in the moment. So in the moment you're listening, love them, tender touch them, different girl every day. And that's just one of his hits. He has a host of different hits. But now that Vybz Kartel is out, right? Because it wasn't just that sort of music that he was making. And he would make other type of music that would kind of you would vibrate at if you're vibrating at the frequency of that music, some of it was very dark. And I say that as a fan of the music itself, right? It's a lot of music of a very aggressive nature. It's very aggressive, you know. No. That's gray hair. I have gray hair, Swags. But big up yourself. Yeah, we don't condone drug use or any of that white powder over here. We've never done that. But yeah, it's just one of those things, man, where now what's the growth, right? What happened, right? Because you spent over a decade behind bars. Now you're out, right? And we see how the people move to the beat of the drum of Vybz Kartel, right? We see how many people love this man. We see how loved he is all over the world. How people came from near and far to see him, to greet him, to cheer him on. You're out. We're glad that you're out. You made it out. Right? So he has a big impact on these people's lives. But not only do you have a big impact on these people's lives, right? You also now have a responsibility. So Vybz Kartel, to me right now, this is what I would like to see. I would like to see growth, because I would like to see Jamaica be in a better place, right? I would like for him to elevate the vibration of the people. I would like for him to use his power and influence at this point to show them, hey, listen, this is what happened before, right? Whether or not he's innocent, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not here to condemn him, to say he did it or he didn't do it. But what it is that was done in the past, this is what I learned from it, and this is the growth, and this is the vibration, right? The vibration that's influencing your emotion, right? That's influencing your thoughts. That's influencing, again, your vibration, right? So it's one of those things where it's like Vybz Kartel, me personally, I feel like he sort of has a responsibility at this point. I don't want to hear the same music that I was listening to as a teenager. I want to hear some uplifting music, man. I want to hear some music that shows, hey, listen, I've learned from whatever it was, that the dark times that I faced, I've learned from it. And this is what I've learned from it. I've learned that the thoughts I kept thinking, the things that I kept saying, I was speaking these things into existence. Whether or not I was guilty, I was speaking these things into existence. I was vibrating at this frequency. Right? So it's one of those things. I'm now vibrating at a completely different frequency. And through my rehabilitation, through the process that I had to go through to get to this point, right? I'm going to talk to you guys differently. Show us both hands. So I'm going to talk to you guys differently. And the music I'm going to make, it's going to allow you to operate at a different frequency. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up everybody in the chat. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We got two hands. He got two hands. Hey, big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. But this is not why I'm here. I'm here because I want to see Jamaica and I want to see the world in a better place. I want to see us make music that really elevates people's spirit. You're Vybz Kartel. You're the vibration cartel. You're the vibration cartel. So the music that you make, because you're so great at making the music, right? It could really elevate a lot of other people's frequency as well. A lot of people's vibration can be elevated by the music that you're making, right? So you could make music that influences people's emotional state, and in turn, making music that influences and builds up the community that you're in, right? Because this is the sort of rehabilitation process. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I don't still listen to some of this ratchet music, right? But I have discernment. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people that's going to listen to this music and think to myself, oh, I got to get up out here and go do something. No. Because I filter out what it is that I'm listening to, and I'm not listening to it for the same reasons as everyone else. Show us three hands. You're funny. How you doing, Adam? How's everyone doing? But yeah, it's one of those things. You are Vybz Kartel. You are the vibration cartel. What is the growth? What is it that you've learned from being behind bars these last couple years? Because for whatever reason, the universe puts you, right? Because everything that we see in our universe, everything that we see, touch, taste, smell, everything that we don't see, everything is vibration. Everything is vibrating, right? Whether or not we're able to outright go there and touch and see it and feel it with our physical hands, it's all vibrating, right? And here, your name is Vybz Kartel, the vibration cartel, right? So it's almost as if you're lucid dreaming, right? You're conscious of who it is that you are, because in a way, we all vibrate. Not even in a way, that's just the truth. We all vibrate, right? But people who are still, quote unquote, sleep, right, who sleepwalking, are looking at you as an icon, are putting you on a pedestal, right? So now the things that you did in the past, whether right or wrong, whether you're innocent or not, the image that you portrayed somewhat landed you in a situation, whether or not you're innocent, that you wanted out of. Resonant frequency, 432 hertz. Big up yourself, Mark Bischoff. Right? But whatever it is that you were doing at the time landed you in that situation that you're in, that you were in, that you've now made it out of. So what's the growth? As a grown man now, I don't want to listen to the cartel that I was listening to as a teenager or as a kid. I want to see growth. I've grown past then. And I would be really disappointed if Vybz Kartel came out and was still making that same sort of music, right? Because some mystical power, right, was able to lift you out of that situation and put you back on the road and made you a free man, right? And I'm not going to sit up here and act like, oh, everything is all peachy cream now that you're a free man, because you still have certain other issues that we're not going to get into, right? But it all boils down to frequency and energy. It all boils back down to frequency and energy and vibration, right? Can't have one without the other, right? The emotion influences the vibration, influences the thought, influences the vibration, influences the frequency. All of these things work hand in hand. So now, Mr. Cartel, now that you're free, congratulations. Rest in peace. And I hope for closure and clarity for the family of the individual or individuals that were victims, whether of this situation, whether he's guilty or not, right? There's still people that ended up unalived, right? And my heart goes out to you guys, the family members of those people that things happen to. But Vybz Kartel is now free. And now that Vybz Kartel is free, what is it that Vybz Kartel could now say, and how could he influence the culture to change? Because he is an iconic figure, whether or not we want to say he is or not. He's an iconic figure. Not just in dancehall culture, but right across the world. What up, DJ Scoot? It's good to see you as well, man. It's good to see you as well, DJ Scoot. It's one of those things, man. We're talking about Vybz Kartel right now, man. I hope your day's going good, man. If it's not, it'll go better, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Big up yourself, man. Always keep your frequency high, man. Always keep your vibration high, right? Whatever it is that's going on, man. Because right throughout the day, we'll have things that could set our vibration off. Sometimes we go off into our head. Sometimes we go off into our mind. And then going off into our mind, right? Maybe we're thinking about something negative, and now we start feeling that negative thought that we were thinking. And now we're vibrating at that same frequency as the thought that we were just thinking. Right? It's crazy. But it's just what it is. That's just what the truth is. So, we have a part to play the biggest part to play is us in the vibration that we're sending out. We have the biggest part. So whether or not it's Vybz Kartel, whether or not whatever it is that's on the outside of us, it still boils down to us, right? So to whom much is given, much is expected. Now, I'm not here telling Vybz Kartel how he needs to live his life. All that I want to see is that Vybz Kartel now influences the youth to do something better with their life. So many people, bro. I just remember, bro, I've seen people fight one another over Gaza and Gully. I've seen people fight one another over Gaza and Gully. You understand what I'm saying? Right? People that don't have anything to do with either camp. But this just goes to show you the influence that these people have over the youth, the influence that these people have over culture. So now that you have this influence over culture, do you now take on the perspective that arouses your ego? So because you can make something happen, do you do it in this way? Or do you be a force for togetherness, of compassion, of elevating the frequency of those around you, of elevating their vibe, of helping them get through the real things that they're getting through, of showing them compassion? How do you now respond to the people around you with the responsibility that you now have? How do you respond to them? How do you communicate with them? Right? So that's my main concern with what's happening right now with Vybz Kartel. Kudos to him. He's out. The universe doesn't make any mistakes. Or if you want to call it God or whatever it is, he is out for a reason. Thank you so much, Ant77. I really appreciate it. Because I'm not trying to preach. I'm not out here trying to preach. I'm just out here. I just want to... My main thing is, I have family in Jamaica. I have family in England. I have family in Canada. I have family in the USA. But my roots are in the Caribbean. My roots are in Jamaica. Right? And there's some roots over there in Cuba too, and, you know, different places. But my roots are in Jamaica. And I want to see the people in Jamaica, even though like, we're all human beings, right? We're all a part of this planet, you know. But I want to see such a such a small nation with so much influence over the global culture. I want to see that culture. If that culture could change, I promise you, the culture right around the world would change. If that culture could change, and if one of the leaders of that culture, being Vybz Kartel, can help to facilitate the change in that culture, then by all means, I feel like the world will change. The world's going to fall in line. I have no doubt about that. Do you know who has control over the global culture now? Well, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know who has control over the global culture now, but I do know that it has a lot to do with money. But as individuals, we also have a role to play, and we also play into that as well. So we often have to check ourselves, right? We have a responsibility. We can't just allow external and the objective reality to determine everything that's going on around us, right? We also have a responsibility because we are all energy, and there's no one or nothing that's over or above us. This is all just energy expressing itself in different ways. Baby snaps, no thank you, I would not. And that's severely inappropriate. That's not what we're about here. But yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. We all have the responsibility within ourselves. So it's all good and well blaming all external forces and stuff like that. But we can't just keep blaming everyone else. We can't just keep pointing fingers. Oh, they influence me. This influenced me. That influenced me. No. Get control of what influences you. Right? Because you think with your mind, right? But does your mind produce the thoughts? Something comes before the thought, right? So when you're thinking that negative thought, you could influence yourself not to follow through with it. Right? You could influence yourself not to follow through with the negativity. So it's one of those things, man. And I'm all for people defending themselves and their family. I'm all for that. You understand what I'm saying? I'll never tell somebody they shouldn't, influence their family, or they shouldn't defend their family by any means or whatever it is. But when it comes down to certain things that I see all across the culture, whether it be an American culture, the youthful culture in America, the culture in Jamaica, the culture all over the globe, right? It seems as if it's tipping more towards negativity, right? A lot of times, and I know that that's not true. I know that's only a small percentage of what really is going on. You must know, I agree, we as individuals must repent. It does seem that every person in a high-level position in entertainment, banking, investing, finance, government, education, all have something in common. I respect you for what you're doing, though. Keep on pushing. Josh, I don't disagree with what it is that you're saying. But it's one of those things, man. I'm not here to put everyone that's there in that category, because I don't think that everyone that are in these places fall under the same category. I do think that sometimes you might have the way things are, right? So you join an organization. Let's say you're a young guy. Let's say you're in college right now, and let's say you plan to be a politician, so to speak, right? You plan on becoming a politician. You have your thoughts about how you're going to change the world. You have your thoughts about how the world is, right? You have your thoughts of how you're going to influence government, how you're going to influence policy. And then once you start to work your way through the government, you work your way into the government, you start to see how things are done, right? And in order to get by, right, what you may do is you might decide to adapt to what it is that's going on, completely ignoring the aspect of yourself that's telling you, hey, this isn't me, this isn't what I do, this isn't how I feel, right? But this is how things are over here. This is how we do things over here. So if you don't get in line with what we have going on over here, bye-bye. You get what I'm saying? So it's very difficult to say, because I'm not a government official, it's very difficult to say that everyone that's in these positions all think the same way. I don't believe that. I think, that kind of negates individuality. I think we're all individuals, but I do think some people do, when they get into these positions, get down or lay down, whether it be finance, banking, whatever it is. Some of these people get into these positions and they just lay down with the devil, so to speak, right? And if you don't have a backbone, whether it be a moral backbone, whatever it is, if you don't have a backbone, if you don't have structure, if you don't know who you are, right? And if you're not true to yourself, because we're always changing, we're always evolving, but if you're not true to yourself, then you'll be susceptible to falling in line with what it is that they have going on. They kiss the wall or they get replaced. Absolutely. How you doing, Jonathan? Hi, how you doing? How you doing? Everyone in here, like and subscribe, road to 200 subscribers. We're going to keep making good content for you guys, keep influencing everyone to do the positive. And I don't even want to use the word influence. I don't want to use the word influence you to influence yourself. How about that? Influence you to influence yourself. They kiss the wall or they get replaced. Exactly, Josh. That's precisely what it is. Right? If you don't get down, get out. Basically, right? So even everyone that does want to decide as young men that, listen, I'm going to get into this government, I'm going to get into what it is that they're doing over there, and I'm going to make some changes, right? You decide you're going to make some changes, and then you go ahead and you get into finance, or and then there's the culture of how things are, how things have been for 100 years, for thousands of years, right? And here you are trying to come change everything in one lifetime, right? But there's other ways to influence things and change things and make things happen. You don't have to always get in bed with these people. And I feel like there's an energy also that protects you if you're a well-intended person, right? Beyond the sabotage, because sometimes people will throw dirt on your name. Sometimes people will try to sabotage you. Sometimes people will try to drag you down in the dirt. Drag you down in the dirt. But there's always an energy that protects the well-intended person, the person that has the best intentions and does things not to screw people over, but just wants to do things the right way. Straight up and down, right? And I would know, because I've tried to do things the wrong way before. I have. I'm not holier than thou. I'm not above this or that. We're all just spiritual beings having this human experience, right? And in our early experiences, right, we explored reality. Not to say I haven't done anything far beyond my own personal moral code, though. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I've heard that a number of times before. I say, is it too much to ask for both? Die and be a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Well, you want to know something? You want to know something crazy? You want to know something crazy? Pardon me, I had some water over here, but I left it back there. Whatever. What's crazy is this, right? Sometimes it takes for that to happen, right? For you to break through this dimension, for you to break the physical dimension, for your energy, for people to really understand and see what it is that your energy really meant. A lot of times in your absence, you're strong. Your presence is stronger in your absence. It's crazy, but for some reason, it's always been this way. I don't know why. Right? When Nipsey Hussle passed on, his influence was magnified. Right? Now people see what it is. Now people could sift through some of the things that weren't necessarily pleasant to see the core of the individual, to see what his energy meant to the world. Right? So when it's all said and done, Jesus Christ, right? So many people. Martin Luther, because when you're here, it's almost as if people don't respect you enough. Because you breathe the same air as them. Because you come from the same place as them. Because you walk and you don't float. You don't float, you walk just like me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like people just look at you like you have everything is just in common with them. And it's not until you transcend this dimension, right? Almost, a lot of times, completely, that people start to see, oh my God, now they're paying attention. Right? Now they're paying attention. It's almost as if their heart opens up, their mind opens up, everything opens up to your influence for some reason, now that you're no longer here. It's crazy. But it is what it is. All politicians are blackmailed that have been there for 10 plus years. Josh, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know whether or not that's a true statement. It could be, but I just don't know. Raise your spiritual aura. Okay, I could co-sign that. Tony Stark died, or unalive, we're not going to say died, to return as Doctor Doom. I don't even know what exactly that means, to be honest with you. Perhaps familiarity breeds contempt. Absolutely. Familiarity breeds contempt. Right? And you never know you have a good thing until it's gone. Well, sometimes you do, right? The people in the moment know that they have a good thing. The people in the moment, and the people that see potential in themselves start to see potential in other people that are around them as well. I know I have potential. I know there's something inside of me. And I see that thing. I see that reflected inside of you. Even if you don't see it, I see it inside of you as well. I know you got potential. I know you could do it. I know you're a fighter. I know you can overcome whatever it is that you're going through right now. Right? And if you're going to get anything from what it is that we're doing, life is but a stream. Right? Because life is but a stream. Life is but a stream. We're all here in this physical dimension for a limited amount of quote unquote time, right? Because on higher dimensions, there's no such thing as time. In higher dimensions, there's no such thing as physical, because everything it's just the density that separates the rings around Saturn from, a rock, right? It's just the density. That's all it really is. Everything is made up of atoms. Everything is vibrating. Everything. Absolutely everything. It's all just energy. But because this physical body is not really who we are. It's not who we are. Right? I've trimmed my hair many times. It's not who I am. Who I am is far beyond any physical body, any physical boundary. It's energy. And it was put here to have this experience in this way for this period of time. I'm sleeping in my work car right now. Agent 205. Man, listen, don't let him catch you doing that, man. I want you to keep your job for right now until you find something better at least. You know what I mean? So, not entirely sure if that's something that you really, really want to share. DLC, my guy. You guys make sure you head over there at DLC, man, and big him up. That's my guy right there. He has a phenomenal podcast. Yeah, man. Yeah. This topic kind of just wrote itself, man, because it's just one of those things, man. It's not necessarily about me picking the topic. It's just something that in terms of Vybz Kartel getting out of jail, it's something, it's iconic, right? It's trailblazing. It's happening in the now. It's polarizing. I think polarizing is probably the best word to really summarize the whole thing. Because on one side, you have people who think he shouldn't have been released. And on the other side, you have people loving the fact that he's out now. People that can't wait to go to the next party. People that right now are over the moon, from his family to the fans to the people that greeted him outside of that jail or the courthouse or wherever he was that he was released. All of these people are happy that he's out. But now he has a responsibility. And now his responsibility is to influence the youth to do something good. Show us growth. Show us that, yes, I missed out on this amount of time, but this is how I've changed as a person. And this is what I want to contribute now to society. And this is what I want for the youth to do. And this is what I want my legacy to be. So sure, at a certain point in time, I wasn't necessarily doing the things I was supposed to do. But now that I'm out, here, this is what I learned. Youth, the kids of the day, the youth of the day, whatever it is that you want to call it, what I did before, that's not the way to go. This is the way to go. This is the way to go. But yeah, guys, we're gonna come to the end of the show right now. We did start a little early. I do thank you guys for being a part of what it is that we had going on tonight. It was a phenomenal live. I appreciate every single one of you. Big up yourselves. Everyone that was in the chat, thank you guys for making this a spectacular chat. DJ Scoot, you're going to get through this, man. Hold your head up, man. Mark Bischoff, big up yourself. Agent 205, big up yourself. The person who just told me to shut up, big up yourself. And make sure you subscribe to Podnet MGM. This has been the second episode of Life is But a Stream. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to address you guys probably before I go to work, and then after, once I come home at night. You already know, 11:30, Be back here tomorrow. We're going to be talking more about, just life, because life is but a stream. Guys, take care. Have a magnificent night. Oh, and subscribe. Bye-bye.